All right, so as is the case, as it usually is, we've only traveled from here to here. We left off last episode at this tavern, and I am already out of a bunch of inventory space, but I have enough stuff for, I believe, 2 backpacks, so let's go for that. You don't actually have to specifically carry them on your back. You can just keep them around anywhere. All right, so with the 2 backpacks, let's start to put some stuff away. We'll be able to rename these an anvil as well at some point, and that's a mildly more manageable inventory with space for more stuff if we really need it. So looking around, it looks like there might be some pretty cool structures up ahead in the northeast area. So I wanted to go see what that was about because it seems like it's potentially really neat. I'm also going to grab more of these. I think one of our backpacks has the berry bushes, does it not? Okay, well, I'm glad I'm grabbing these. Yeah, we're going to grab these for some nut butter and jam sandwiches, because those are definitely going to be the early game food. So the first episode of this series has really gotten some a great deal of interactions and views and appreciation from you guys. I really would like to send it back your way. I appreciate everyone's support on the video, on the series, on just the general return. Again, I'm sorry that I don't really have a given schedule, that I'm very inconsistent with videos. I do them when I always want to do them, but I do them when I have the energy and just in general when I have the space and time, both mentally and physically, to do them. So, you know, they come and go. They'll be here. Maybe I'll take breaks. Oh, that is a lot of mud. Well, this is the cool structure I was looking for. Let's see if we can safely set a spawn point somewhere is kind of what I'm thinking. I should have tried to get a hold of a bed or something from that inn. That was poorly thought out on my behalf. But yeah, no, thank you so much for all of the support and appreciation on that first video. It's been super helpful. If you just run into me on your recommendeds and you vaguely like what you see both here and maybe in some of the previous series that I've done, don't go too far back though. I guess before the 112 pack, it gets to be really kind of like not my favorite material that I've created. So you know, somewhere around there, maybe stop watching. But, you know, there's still lots of content out there. Let me know if you have any recommendations or things you want me to show off or talk about in this pack as well. Man, are you kidding me? There were only 2 sheep. They normally spawn in much bigger flocks than that. We have a craven from the Eidolon mod. Nice to see you. This is slightly troublesome, but I also really like the space here. I may settle in somewhere here. Let's see if it gets less splotchy. I don't love the stone splotchiness of this area. And I am going to come back to that structure. I just want to set my spawn point somewhere nearby first. But again, another sheep would have been nice. If I had enough iron for shears, I would have just gone that route, but alas, I don't. I could have made the shears. I should have made those shears, but I didn't. That was my own problem. We have some bauxite. Bauxite is actually surprisingly uncommon to find, but is also equally as uncommonly used. So it's one of those things that you're never really going to need thousands and thousands of. So it's fine that it's as rare as it is, especially once you get into fortune and actual proper ore processing flows. It's much less painful. Ah. Well, let's not go any closer to that. For now. I was going to say I really like this area and would love to live here, but I'm thinking otherwise. That looks like an AE meteor over there. Looks like it gets a little bit more densely populated. Finally. Took long enough. Doesn't matter what color the bed is, because I'm just going to do light blue across the board, because it's my favorite color bed. Right. Hang on. What am I doing? We don't have normal beds. We have annoying, slightly more difficult to make beds. So a light blue bed in this case would just be a pillow of white wool with light blue sheets. So good thing you're still here. So we will grab 1 light blue bed and we're going to scurry our way back to that structure all the way down here because I do want to get its contents. And then we're going to find a place to settle in. And this is pretty good. Let's find the entrance. We'll plop down a bed, set our spawn just for safe measure. Oh, that's not too far at all. And that way, when the inevitable happens, and I do in fact die, especially because I sat there for a minute, we will be right there. Now, I'm going to try to put on a slightly better show than that as far as death goes, because that was just pathetic. Now, I don't think they'd be able to get out if I did this. So we'll do that and that. And now we can just bonk the leg. That is the first monster I've hunted. How sad. I'm going to leave these spawners here because they will come in handy. That guy wants to get me, and if you haven't noticed, they're armed with a sword. So not all skeletons are going to be running the same gear set that you normally see when you play in vanilla. which makes the pack mildly more interesting because you're going to find that some entities are going to have different kinds of weaponry than expected, which I think is pretty neat. There's a lot of good stuff in here. And I'm going to keep these spawners. That reason will probably be revealed pretty soon. I mean, we're about 3 quest chapters away from that, but we'll get there. And there we go. We've gotten some deep slate copper ore generated there on accident. So we did get that quest knocked out completely on accident here, but that'll get us some more of these nuggets of experience. We also have a campfire, more nuggets of experience. I'm just going to save the nuggets for now because it's very realistic that I may die at some point. So why bother? And let's see, there's a chest hidden in here. Golden apple is nice. You can see that there's a little bit of parkour here, which I've always thought was kind of a neat part of the design with these structures. Ooh, Curse of Vanishing, but Protection 3, and then a Bane of Arthropods sword. So yeah, these sometimes contain really, really good loot, as you've just found. It does completely vary from place to place. I'll take my chances. I don't have any other armor currently, so I'll take Curse of Vanishing. Doesn't bother me at all. And then 1 anvil, particularly handy for me, because we can, again, repair and keep restored a lot of our gear. Let's take a look and see if there's any other good stuff as we go. Anything in here? Not really anything of interest. This is a nook that people always miss, because you see this and you look over here and you're like, okay, yeah, there's not much. But there's this one little nook right here, in the center of which is the last of the really good loot. There's a lectern that doesn't actually have a book in it, but looks like it does. A handful of books, and then a lodestone, which you can grab it. And then we've got, oh, this is actually a much better helmet. And we've got a lot of iron and gold. And from here, there is an outdoors and an upstairs, but neither one of them really have anything in them. Just little bits and bobs. So I wanted to show this off. People don't often notice it. I personally really like the lodestones. I think compasses and lodestones are a very underutilized mechanic in vanilla, and it's fun to have them around here. Not to mention the fact that this structure basically gives us a handful of spawners completely for free, which again will be very useful for us in the not impossibly distant future. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skeleton spawners. Yeah, that's not bad. Great. All right, well, we've got bed. I'm gonna leave the bed here for now, and let's just kind of go on about our way in trying to find something reasonably interesting. You know what? I'll take my chances. Let's see. 1, 2. Perfect. Give them colored collars. And I have found a place that I think I'm going to like a lot at this little waypoint over here. So I'm heading in that direction just to see what we find. I actually didn't even notice that there was a little village over here. This will be pretty fun. I'm also going to try to grab copper as I see it. I could really use backpack upgrades, and the next backpack upgrade for us is going to require a block of copper. So that'll be, if you think about it, that's 9 ingots, which would be 27 raw ore if we did furnace smelting. And I actually want 3 copper upgrades. And we do have the blast furnace, just the 1, but it'll help. So I figure while I go running around here in this village, I will probably set this to smelt. And let's see, pretty small, straightforward village. Ah, but there is a waystone here. Let's see, what are you selling? How about you? Sometimes they have good stuff. Sometimes it's mid. Just depends. I won't say no to those, though. Got some composting soils. I do really enjoy this little space. It's very cozy. I'm going to go check on our blast furnace real quick. I don't think there's really any chest loot that I need except for the blacksmith right now, so I'm going to leave everyone else alone. Although I may steal a respawn point. And you know, this is actually kind of the best time to show it off. So hammocks are great. They're a mechanism that lets you sleep through the day into the night. We can make a hammock with a rope and nail, which is 4-string. I don't have 4-string. Shoot. Or a rope. That one I think I can do, actually. Let's make a farmer's knife. And what we can do is start to cut down some of this grass, the tall grass rather, with our knife. And this is going to give us a chance to get our straw. And so with some straw, we can make a, looks like a rope coil. So rope, nail can be made with a rope coil, like so. And now that with an iron ingot will get us the rope coil we need. So I want to pass time throughout the day pretty quickly. And so in order to do that, what I can do is combining these two and a nicely spaced pair of trees, which I don't know if I'm going to find them naturally. I try to reuse a natural setup, but the spacing is 3, 4 is pretty particular. So there needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks of space between both logs. Now you can place down your hammock, and now you can sleep through the day. And just like nighttime sleeping, and I dropped an item over here, so I wanted to come grab that real quick. Just like nighttime sleeping, daytime sleeping also accelerates ticks, and so that is very, very, very helpful in this circumstance. Not as helpful that it's way over here, but whatever. And so now we can sleep. It is, however, pretty much the end of the day at this point, but we should see that quite a few items over here should have finished smelting. Yeah, we've already gotten up to half a stack. And so between our hammock and our sleeping bag, we can kind of accelerate everything. Mind you, again, we're still waiting on the end of the day to pass, so there's a little waiting period between the end of day and start of night. Outside of that, though, it's pretty nice and clean to go between the two. So I want the backpack on my back right here, and we can combine all of those elements together and get a bigger backpack like that. Our copper backpack gives us another extra row of stuff, which is perfect. I'll take that for now. And as we find ourselves with more leather, we can go ahead and start upgrading even more from there. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and put this in my backpack slot. All right, so one mildly refreshing nap later, and we are very close to where I think I'm going to want to live, which is up here in this, I think this is a larch forest, if I remember correctly. Silver birch? Silver birch. I wanted to say silver birch, but I felt like that was going to be goofy and the wrong answer. But larch is darker, isn't it? Yeah, much darker. And I really like this area. This is really cozy. We can turn this into a nice big space. Nice and central. There's a good bit of stuff around us. A meteor not too far. A lot of unexplored territory up north. A good bit of oil nearby. I think this is a pretty decent spot. Not that bad at all. So let's go ahead and get started with a tiny, tiny, tiny little base. We have everything in our backpack here, which is kind of the fundamental starter for our new base. Let's just go ahead and scoot you guys over here. And as you may or may not have known, you can shift right click these backpacks to put them down into the world. And this gives me a chance to look through everything and organize. I'm going to start off with getting rid of these orange coneflowers so that I can get some storage put together. And so what we're going to do is make a chest. And I'm going to specifically make a chest from expanded storage. I'm going to make a handful of these. I think 12 should be good. And we're going to make these into double chests. Now, the fun thing about expanded storage is the double chests can go 2 different directions. Double chest, right? Standard double chest. We love double chest. Except what about long chest? How could you forget long chest? And my favorite, personally, as someone who's 6 foot 7 inches tall, tall chest. Tall chest is really nice because it actually gives you a lot more storage in a much smaller footprint. And this is a lot more viable to use. I know it's a little stupid looking, but you know, whatever. I think it's fun. And most importantly, it's incredibly practical. Work in progress, disabled, confirm. And so now we can start to organize things, put things together, etc. May in fact make a couple more chests real quick. Just a pair, and we're going to put them all the way here at the end with the coneflowers. For now, we at least have a place to go through and put our things in a pretty well organized system as well, might I add. So we can go through and add in all of our organics and mob drops all together and save ourselves a lot of frustration and time with that. We can go ahead and start spacing out some of our other resources, because there is quite a lot going on. We can also start putting down our other workstations. Probably have a crafting table here with you there. Put you in the corner here for now. Actually, I might elevate you. That could be kind of fun, right? Yeah, I think I like that a lot. We can just scoot the anvil right here and move you right here. I think that's pretty cozy. We can start to, oops, hang on. Where'd that go? Ah, there it is. We can go and start to organize things. I usually like to put all my metals and kind of valuable underground resources and shiny things in general, kind of all in one chest together here. I like to put my very junky crap-looking blocks separate from my other much nicer-looking blocks. So as I start to kind of piece this together, it'll be a little more clear how I do my organization. So I'm going to put a couple of things in this backpack. I think for now the pick can stay as is. We'll do just a little container here for general goods. So that's going to be like things that are tools mostly. So we can separate out gems from metals. We can do fancy blocks, right? So we've got a couple of those already. We can do junk blocks. We don't have many of those already. We can do modded blocks in here. gear here, and compostables in here. Just like that, we've cleared out these backpacks. Now, I still need stuff to go finish some of my exploration, but I'm going to go ahead and make a chest plate so that we can at least kind of explore underground relatively safely. I may also start processing up some of our iron here as well, so that I can get myself a little more equipped with iron gear, just ever so slightly. Of course, it probably would make the most sense to start with stone gear at first. So we'll go ahead and do an iron axe. Start with a stone axe, allowing us to save on an individual ingot for that iron axe upgrade. And then for a shovel, obviously you can upgrade them, but that's the one place where it does cost more. And the last thing that I want to do real quick is get a bed pieced together. So let's go ahead and do that. Just like that. And for now, I guess we can just plonk that down there. And I know we just talked about being able to use hammocks to speed up time, but I am clearly not in a position to do that at the moment, considering I left my hammock behind. I will have to go get that at some point, that's for sure. But for now, I think we're just going to live without it and just deal with it. I think we'll be fine. And I may go ahead and make an additional iron tool, which would just be another pickaxe, just as a backup. That's not the right inventory, just in case. All right, let's go try to find a cave. Now that's interesting. I didn't expect a cave like this to be here, but I'm not going to say no. I'm going to go ahead and grab more coal immediately because we don't really have all that much. Now I think this is a serious bummer. Let's see. Looks like the cave might try to end on us here. But sometimes, especially with these kind of fractured caves, it goes a little deeper. Let's see. Nope. Although I did find some bauxite, so it's not entirely lost. Oh, I hear lava to my left. I found the lava. Now, why is this here? Oh, okay, so it's more ravine. So I wasn't wrong. And you know what? I'm going to scoop that up too. And we will mark our way back with a bunch of torches. Make it uber duper, very extremely clear that that's where we need to go. And I'm going to delve as deep as I can, because while that does not make much sense from a safety perspective, especially because there's a quest that specifically tells you, hey, look, the deeper you go, the harder the mobs are going to be. They're not that much harder. They're just better geared. We have some lead ore here, and I'm going to grab that real quick. And not only are they not that much harder, here's some tin, by the way, but it's just vanilla mobs with either some, very, very rarely will they have slightly augmented gear, but they will sometimes have extra hearts. Usually it's just gear. One thing that I just wanted to bring up, it's in the quest book as well. I did kind of skip completely over it. In fact, I've been skipping over a whole bunch of stuff here, is that deep slate iron ore will always drop, or deep slate ores in general will drop extra, only whenever they drop raw ore. So diamonds, redstone, lapis, those deep slate variants are always going to drop the vanilla amount. But if you notice when I break this, I get 2 raw iron, and another 2, and another 2. And another 2. And this also scales up with fortune. So it's not just +1 to the original amount, it's actually ×2 to the original amount. So that's part of what, it's like a balance between the risk versus reward is pretty delicate there. But it was one of those things that I very much wanted to consider and kind of play with as I started to design this pack out a little bit. We have some silver ore here. All of these things are going to come in handy as we progress, especially the silver and lead. So that's why I'm going caving and spelunking right now, rather than waiting until later. And I'm hoping that I can take advantage of the deeper ore yields to help my case out with trying to progress a little more quickly so that we don't have a very boring Let's Play. I just keep getting good helmets. I don't even need this one, but it certainly isn't bad. These urns, man, they're loaded. Anything deeper here? No, it doesn't look like it. Okay. Rest in peace, glow squid. I actually really like glow squid. I like the things that glow squid have been enabled to do. See, so there's a geared up guy. Here's another geared up guy, but it's not that big of a geared up experience, you know? Like, they could definitely be more hardcore at this level. We have some zinc here. I'm going to grab this, completely ignoring those guys. Possibly even offending them, to be honest. Zinc won't be used for another while, honestly. But it's good to go ahead and grab it now while we can. But I will say, with iron gear and a mine shaft. No, with our mostly iron and slightly somewhat ever so luckily a little bit of diamond gear, we are totally fit and ready to go spelunking. So if you're playing along, as long as you're mildly decent at combat, if you're not, like, I know some people who just can't do combat at all, which is a completely reasonable stance to play the game, either in peaceful, like that is definitely a way that you can play. Then, you know, do what you need to do. But I do think that the increased difficulty makes for a very fun survival experience, at least from my perspective. I see some guys. I see some things. Now, this sword has Bane of Arthropods, which is, like, not anywhere near the best thing I could have possibly gotten, but okay. Also, I hope you enjoy the retro skeleton sounds as much as I do. A lot of sounds in this pack have been retrofied, or older sounds have been like mildly integrated with this pack, not completely. And the sound of Deep Slate, if you hadn't noticed, has been changed to be Tufts sound. I'm going to let this guy blow up real quick, because I want to show you guys a very cool feature that is, I think also was part of the 118 pack, but if you haven't seen the Let's Play through that one, essentially creepers will repair any of the holes that they cause, including anything with like data in it, like a chest or a furnace processing. It'll save all of your progress, all of the items in that chest. They're just going to come right back in the blink of an eye, which is particularly neat, at least in my opinion. Again, I'm biased. I think I said the last time. I'm biased. I made the mod, so, you know, it's something that I'm particularly proud of. But it's a very useful thing to have when it comes to, you know, reaping the consequences and even reaping a bit of that panic, that initial panic of, oh God, my stuff. And then having the relief of, nope, it's okay, it's fine. Maybe I died, but my stuff didn't. And thrown items on the ground are still going to get it destroyed permanently, which is something that I think that's a fair risk trade-off. Again, a lot of what I worked on with this pack was kind of balancing out risk and reward, trying to make sure that it was worth players going to a certain extent to do certain things. All right, so we have a Wraith. Wraiths will drop Tattered Cloth. And Tattered Cloth will be used throughout Eidolon as we progress, which is going to be pretty cool. Currently just trying to light up this area. We have some gold. That'll be good. We've gotten some imbued bones already. That's pretty fun. We have a bunch of gear that I don't really want, though, so I'm going to put that away in my trash can. So that's a creeper variant. That's a cave creeper. Their explosions, all creeper explosions, are actually negated, but they drop different things. And this guy dropped nothing, but sometimes they'll drop different ore materials. They'll drop stones or cobblestones. They'll drop raw ore. It does vary from just RNG, but it's still pretty cool. It's nice to have specialty creepers. There's also specialty creepers for dripstone. We have some fluorite. I'm not going to need this for a while, so I'm not going to bother filling my inventory up with it at the moment, unfortunately. Let's grab some redstone, because we are going to need that for sure. I just get too distracted by the urns. They're too fun. Just crawling around here, hoping to squeeze in a couple more deep slate ores before I go run back up to the surface. Jasper is actually a really good find. I may bookmark this, because it is a great and very affordable ceiling tile, or roof tile. And sure, you know what? We'll take some lapis. It'll be used. So yeah, things definitely get a lot deeper, needless to say. Good to know, though. I will probably come back here for a lot of the deeper resources, because I could use those diamonds over there, but I'm not in a huge hurry for them, so I'm not going to necessarily rush to go get them right now. Or maybe I will. You know, I'm not really decided yet. It doesn't get that much more dangerous going forward, although that guy is pretty speedy. We'll let you do your thing. Gotta admit, some pretty cool world gen. Ooh, and this is not a one-off diamond deposit. This is actually 4. Cool. We have some uranium ore. That's not really as important, so I'm going to leave it right now as well. That's all for the very end of this pack, really. This is deep slate nickel. I don't really need nickel at the moment either, so I'm going to leave that. Right now, I just need largely vanilla materials and then silver and lead. Which is why I'm here for the diamond deposits. I can't remember, did I make diamond deposits larger? I'm actually going to go look. Nope, it's just been really good luck so far. I know Minecraft recently made them more common, or in larger deposits and more common, but I know that we're not on a version that offers that yet. So I wasn't sure if I had gone ahead and done something with like just larger vein sizes that don't care as much about the exposure to air, but I think I'm just getting mad lucky. Yeah, I think I'm just real lucky. Ooh, yep. On second thought, I'm not so sure that I didn't tweak something. Yeah, no, I'm actually not seeing any record of diamond underscore ore in the mod pack source code that isn't expected. So I have no idea. 14 diamonds is a steal, though. I think I'm going to head out of here before I push my luck any further, because this has been one heck of a cave. Continues to be one heck of a cave, I should say. Yeah, no, this is wild. And the sparkles help, like, for catching them in the dark, especially with a couple of things later in the game, which I will talk about when we get there. There's a couple of mechanics in, I guess, chapter 3 of Magic that will make the particle feature really, really handy, surprisingly. All right, let's head on back, whichever way that is. That way, I think. It was not that way. It's this way. Fortunately, I didn't walk the whole way to figure that out. I got close enough and was like, no, I recognize this. This isn't the way. And then we came and dropped. We haven't even visited that side. And there's our entrance. See, spamming torches always works. Speaking of which, we'll do that. And now we will always know which way to go. The Jasper's just right down there. We may do a ladder. It might not be a bad idea to make a ladder that goes... What you got there? Understood. May end up doing a ladder that just goes straight down to Deep Slate down that way, because there's a lot left to see down there. And that path down kind of sucks. That one could be interesting. I'm going to mark this tree with torches as well. I normally am very organized with my torches, so when I see stuff like that, I hate it and I want to fix it. So that will hopefully work to my advantage at this stage. So we're going to go ahead and organize everything. The recipe for labels changed. I did not expect that. Anyways, I guess we're going to make only a few labels, unfortunately. That's okay, though. We can make that work. And so labels are really cool. If you grab an item and shift right click on the label, it will replace whatever item you have. And it does a cool little sepia effect. If you were to put a block in that place, it tries its very best to render it as not crunchily as possible. It's not always very good. It does vary from place to place, time to time. I tend not to use blocks to do labels, you'll find. Instead, I like to do ingots especially, and like just items as a whole that vaguely represent whatever is inside. I like how the copper ingot is so thoroughly shaded with the sepia filter on it. This being for gems, we'll go ahead and put a diamond on it, because what else would be in here? For fancy building materials, I think a lantern is actually very fitting. It's very suitable. We have mod materials that'll go in here. And then for junk blocks, I don't really have anything good. So we'll have to figure that out. I guess in the meantime, I might steal that label, put it over here, and put a twig in it for organics. If I had a feather, I don't. I could show you that there are other things you can do with it as well. I want my shears with me all the time, by the way. I don't know why I put those away. I don't have any feathers, and I'm not going to do anything brutal to get feathers. I've already seen a guy get killed today. Ooh, some salmon berries. These are very nice. These can be replanted, right? Yep, just like sweet berry. And just like sweet berries, they can be used to make jam. And before I forget, let's go ahead and do the fence post thing that we learned as of late. So we're going to go ahead and ward away evil, just using a couple of various skulls. Is there a range given? Monsters that wander close by will be scared and run away. So I may just put a couple around just to be safe. And put one back here for good measure. Sound good? Sounds good. Cool. Anyways, I guess I'm going to go get some animals put together. We'll see what comes of that at some point. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you have any thoughts, comments, suggestions, etc., be sure to leave them down in the comments. And we'll see what happens next.